You're listening to Talk Amongst Yourself, the solo space where we pause, reflect, and get radically honest. I'm Kaylene. I'm not asking for permission to talk about menopause. I'm commanding space today. If you've been feeling like your body's shifting and no one warned you, join the club because I am right there with you. I want to talk about breaking the silence around menopause, challenging the shame, and honoring the emotional, physical, and cultural shifts that come with it. One of the things that surprises me is how the media, medicine, and society in general have failed to prepare women for this transition. I think it's sad that we had to wait for a slew of famous women to come forward to start the narrative first. So let me start by saying thank you, Oprah Winfrey, Emma Thompson, Halle Berry, Drew Barrymore, Helen Mirren, Michelle Obama, Salma Hayek, Jamie Lee Curtis, and many, many more have stepped up to the plate to use their platforms to talk about a subject that has been taboo for so long. We all know that there is a lack of education, there is a lack of representation, and open conversations surrounding menopause. This all came apparent to me when I had to ask my own doctor to run my hormones. So, I had been sick for a long time and I'd been going through a lot of symptoms. And what I did was I went to my doctor and I asked her to run my hormones. And when the test came back, her answer was, yeah, you're in menopause and I can start you on hormones. And here's me, kind of like, okay, you can start me on hormones if I'd like. There was no mention of what to expect. Nothing, no literature was handed out, no advice. Nothing on symptoms, nothing on anything. So basically, I was like, no thanks. And what I did was I went and got an OBGYN. And it took forever to even get in with an OBGYN. That is not even a joke. Um, I actually thought, since I'm not going to get on any hormones, I'm going to try like some natural stuff or I'm going to try to, maybe handle this on my own. And so I went through like this year. So it was a year before I got an OBGYN, believe it or not. It was a year. But the reason why I waited was because I didn't want to get on hormones because if you read anything about hormones, you know that sometimes they can be cancer causing if they mess with your hormones. Anyway, so I didn't end up doing that. And I tried like this natural stuff. But the problem with Kaylene is that I don't like to take pills. So I'm not very good at getting consistent when it comes to medication. It's been very hard for me. I'm still working on it as we speak. Anyway, all I can say is forget a family practitioner. I mean, they're kind of like the doctors that do everything. They're more kind of, I guess for me, in my experience anyway, they're best for like the common cold. Like anything having to do with the specialization, go to a specialist. Just do it. Trust me. I'm not saying that they're bad doctors. I'm just saying that they specialize, not in one particular thing. So you might just want to go to somebody who does specialize in menopause, even though it doesn't matter if it's a male or a female, because I kind of feel like it's a waste of time if you don't go to an OBGYN. Anyway, so one of the things that I did was I started to deal with my discomfort through humor on my Facebook page. I started writing a piece I called Pause Report. So I started the narrative by stating pause report and then the date. And then I started talking about my experiences that I was going through that day. Several of my friends on Facebook they're like my age because a lot of them are from high school. So the females were like, yeah, oh my gosh, I can relate to this. This is what I'm going through. And they proceeded to tell me their own discomforts. And um, they were stating that they could relate and they uh were also sharing what they do to alleviate their symptoms and things like that. So that started about a year and a half ago, and I still occasionally do that. And I always try to make sure that it's within humor. I don't know. I guess that's the way that I chose to deal with it. I felt like humor was possibly the best way to go. And so another thing that I'm gonna mention real quick is I want to mention the uh, the symptoms of menopause because so many times I think we don't really know what's happening or what's going on with our body or what we're going to experience. And everybody I think experiences a different thing even though we can relate as women to each other when it comes to this. One of the biggest things for me, at least, was the brain fog. I'm still experiencing brain fog. Sometimes I swear I'm talking on the phone and I'm like, where is my phone? I'm talking on it. You know, uh, it's just crazy little things like that that happen all the time. Like it's almost utter ridiculousness that you have to laugh because there's nothing else to do. So brain fog is one of the things you're going to experience or may experience. Headaches, migraines, hot flashes. Here's the thing. Hot flashes were like one of the first symptoms that kind of clue you into it because that has always been the narrative. Like, if you ever hear anybody mention the word menopause, what do you hear? Hot flashes. I mean, all the jokes are about hot flashes. Um, and night sweats. Nobody really ever talks about the other symptoms. And I've experienced a slew of these symptoms, and I'll tell you about all that when I get there. But let me just rush through these real quick, or at least get through the symptoms before I start talking about them. So there's hot flashes, night sweats, sore breasts, irregular periods, vaginal dryness, loss of bladder control, urgency to pee, reduced sex drive, mood swings, dry eyes and changes to your vision, vertigo and changes in hearing, burning mouth syndrome, heart palpitations, shortness of breath, frequent UTIs, changes in body odor, itchy skin, cold flushes, and tingling in your extremities. And I'm pretty sure that this isn't all of them, but this is like the most prominent of them all. And I will tell you from my own experience, brain fog, holy smokes, I'm still experiencing that. That is a common thing that I'm going through. Like I said, talking on the phone, looking for my phone, looking for my keys. The keys are in my hand. It is crazy the stuff that you just do or the stuff that you forget. Walking in the kitchen to go get something, and then I'm standing there like, duh, what did I come in here for? I do that numerous times a day. So I'm sure I'm not the only one. Um, Headaches and migraines. Whoa, do I get those now? It's really strange. I've never been like a headache person. I've never had to take like aspirin all the time or anything like that. Hot flashes. Yep, those are real. I'm telling you, man. Whoo, sometimes I get so hot. And, they talk about the night sweats, but let me tell you something. The first time I experienced that, it was not at night. I was sitting at work at my desk, and all of a sudden, I'm, like, feeling like I was, you know, somewhere that's really, really humid, like Mexico or something, and all of a sudden, I'm, like, soaked and clammy, and I was like, "I am at work, what the hell is going on?" Well, that was my first experience with the night sweats, and it was really gross, like, I just felt, ugh, I don't know, dirty. Anyway, but not that kinda dirty. Sore breasts. Whenever I had my period, I always had sore breasts. But the cool thing about me, I'm sorry, ladies, but I am one of those 50% of women who had an ablation and I never had another period. So I haven't had a period since 2008. Thank the goddess for that because I've been fortunate to not have to have that. However, like every few months or so, I get the symptoms that come with the period. Like I'll get cramping or of course I'm irritable, but that's like normal for me. If anybody knows me, I'm like irritable all the time. It doesn't matter whether or not it's that time of the month or I'm in menopause or whatever. Anyway, so but before that, irregular periods were normal for me, but many women are experiencing that right now, that are in the throes of menopause because your body is, your chemistry's changing, your body's changing, and sooner or later those periods are going to stop. But vaginal dryness, hmm, yeah, I guess I've experienced that. I guess that's definitely happened, but I'm not even gonna get into all that because, yeah. Anyway, that's my business. Loss of bladder control or urgency to pee. So I don't have loss of bladder control, but man, did I all of a sudden, like, especially this year, probably starting a few months ago, like I've had like this urgency to pee. Like, you don't have to go to the bathroom. And what that means is like you feel fine. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I gotta pee. And so you're like running, chucking to get to the bathroom because you have to pee so bad. And then if you got a belt on, oh my God, let me hope and pray that you can hold it. So anyway, that does start to happen, and that is definitely a real symptom. Reduced sex drive, absolutely. I will be the first to admit that. I have almost nil to no sex drive. Like I am just like, no, not, don't even touch me. And you know what? It's not even that. It's just I just don't care either way. You know what I mean? Like I'm not I'm not like hopping to be like, yeah, let's, no, no, I just don't really have one, but I'm not ashamed to talk about it. So I'm gonna talk about it. Whatever. It is what it is. And there are things to help you with that. The mood swings. Woo, mood swings are us, let me tell you. Um, I can be irritable, I can be happy, I can be sad. One of the biggest things for me is depression. Woo wee, depression sometimes, and you don't even know why. Um, I there are times when I just don't even want to do things. I don't want to go places. I don't want to talk to people. I just don't. But I mean, that's kind of normal for me though. I mean, that's been going on I don't know, for maybe about almost 10 years. So I just don't like people in general most of the time. But, just crowds is what I'm talking about. Crowds, I just can't be in crowds, and I just don't like to go places. I like the comfort of my own home, if that even makes sense. Like, I'll go to a movie, like, a couple times a year, but it's not and I used to do that all the time. Movies were my thing. They're still kinda my thing, but not as much as they used to be. Series seem to be my thing, and now that I can stream that in my own home, I'm good to go. So they say dry eyes and changes to vision. I have experienced massive changes to vision. Um, I swear I have to wear readers now because I cannot see the tiny print, and that it feels like it's getting worse and worse to kind of view things close up. And my distance vision is not so good either, but I wear my long distance for that, and I have to wear computer glasses because it just helps me. It helps me see. And no, I don't have them on today. I never have them on during the show. I don't even wear them during work sometimes. But when I do need them, I do wear them. I did just recently get a new prescription, so I should probably go get that. But I'm gonna get computer glasses because it really does help. Vertigo and changes in hearing. Eh, I experience vertigo anyway, so I do have vertigo from time to time. It's kind of like a norm for me. It started, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. But yeah, vertigo is a thing for me. I get it every year, maybe twice a year sometimes. And I always have it like in the morning. That's how it starts, and that's how I know it's coming on. Or right before bed when I sit down too fast or anything, or I sit up too fast. Burning mouth syndrome, honestly, I don't even know what that's about. That's never happened to me. I should probably look that up. I think I'll do some more research on that because I don't know anything about that, but I find that to be interesting. Heart palpitations, absolutely, absolutely. Anxiety too. Anxiety is something that has crept in my life, and it is there psh, a lot. It's there. So shortness of breath, hallelujah. Yes, 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 do I have shortness of breath, man. I swear I could walk up a flight of stairs and feel like I ran a mile, but, that's probably also due to some other medical stuff that I have, but right along with, like, really not working out and, living at a crazy altitude. So, yeah, shortness of breath, surely. Frequent UTIs, no. I haven't had that issue. I'm sure that there are women that have that issue. Not this one yet, anyway. Changes in body odor. Y- nah, I haven't noticed that. I usually wear deodorant, so I try not to have that issue. Um, I don't know. Maybe I have no idea. Changes in body odor. I've never really even thought of that. I don't think that I've experienced it, but then again, I don't have a good schnauzer, so I don't know. Um, Due to surgery, I I'm kind of thankful for that though. Itchy skin a little bit, because where I live, it gets dry here, and so I am always itchy, especially coming out of the winter and going into the winter, absolutely. Cold flushes, absolutely. There are times when I'm freezing to death, and then I'm hot, and then I'm cold, and then I'm hot, and it's crazy. And mostly that happens at night, like when I go to bed. When I usually get into bed, I'm freezing to death. And then all of a sudden, by the time 5 minutes later, I'm burning up. Tingling extremities, yes, I have that, but I think it's probably due to something else, like small fiber neuropathy, that I have. But, um, yeah, those are all the symptoms, and that's not all of them. Those are probably the most prominent symptoms of menopause, and, I think, you know, when I realized that, I think that I was in the throes of menopause was, when I had that first hot flash. I was like, "No way." Like, immediately, you kinda know. You kinda as a woman, you kinda know what it is because, you hear people talk about hot flashes, but I had no idea what the hell they were talking about. Like, it never even dawned on me because nobody ever really truly explained it to me. And when I had my first hot flash, I was like, "No way." And that was, like, my first indicator that I think I was like, "Oh my god." And it's because it feels so different. It's like so for me to explain a hot flash, it kind of feels like to me, and I'm assuming everybody else feels like this, it's like this rush of heat that just goes through your whole body. And you're like, "What the hell?" And it's really quick. It's like super duper fast. It lasts for like, I don't even know. I think my first one probably lasted 30 seconds to a minute. And I was like, "What the hell was that?" And so that's what gave me the indication that this has to be a hot flash. And that's what made me, then when I had the second one, it was basically the same thing. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is not normal. This doesn't happen to me because usually I'm cold. I've always been cold. I'm just like a cold-blooded person since I've had bariatric surgery. So I was always cold. And now it's a totally different story. My body does not feel cold all the time. I am more warm than I am hot. But that was my first indication of that. And I started to realize that nobody has really explained this to me. You hear once in a while people be like, menopause, talk about hot flashes, joke about hot flashes, but nobody ever really talked about all the other shit that comes along with menopause. And it's a lot. It is a lot. I mean, for me, uh, going through trying to figure this shit out on my own, I guess. I was kind of upset because I think at one point I posted on my Facebook, like, I kind of felt like all of a sudden there was like this secret happening to me that it was a secret because no other woman ever talked about it. Nobody ever mentioned it. Nobody ever said, this is what's going to happen to your body. And I honestly wish that they did. And then all of a sudden there was this freaking come to Jesus moment for menopause that happened where you have all these stars talking about menopause. And you know what's funny is it's my generation, Generation X. It's all of us talking about menopause. We're the ones who basically started talking about menopause, and I'm so grateful that they're using their platforms now for that because I think what bugs me the most about this is that it took the stars, it took Hollywood to come out and start talking about menopause before your doctor even started talking about menopause. My doctor still doesn't talk about menopause. Are you serious? Like, where are they? If it's not some stupid Facebook ad gimmick because they heard you say menopause out loud, because our phones, of course, they're tracking us. Um, then all of a sudden you start getting menopause ads. But seriously, like this has been like such a taboo to talk about. It's kind of like talking about sex. Sex was such a taboo to talk about, right? Oh no, we don't talk about that. That's only for procreation. Like, are you serious right now? But that has been the stigmatism of menopause. And, I have felt like my own transition into menopause wasn't just physical, it's been emotional, it's been life changing, and it's been deeply personal, but it's been a personal thing that I have tried to share through humor. And, it's not only humorous, I mean, it is kind of funny sometimes because, you just kind of go through these motions and these stupid things, but at the same time, it's pretty serious. I mean, there are times when I can't move because my head hurts so bad, or there are times when my body just hurts, or I'm just exhausted. I'm just exhausted, but that comes from other things. I'm exhausted all the time and I can't stand it. I feel like, I don't move like I used to move. That's one thing that you do that changes with age, and I think everybody expects you to completely be active your whole life. Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Sometimes there are times when I don't want to be active, so I'm not gonna be active. I just don't want to. And I don't want to hear anybody else's bullshit about this is what I do, this is what you do, this is what you should. I don't care. This is what I do. I like to game. I game a lot. That's what I do. I like to write, so I will write sometimes. I like to just hang out with my wife and watch movies. That is what I'll do. I love to watch The First 48. I love to watch forensic files. That's like my thing, and my wife always says, "What, are you watching these shows to try to figure out how you're gonna murder me?" Oh my god. It's actually funny, but we watch it together. But, I just I do what interests me now, and before I never did. I always just went with the crowd and did whatever, and now I kinda feel like when you hit menopause, you do become a member of the "I don't care" club, that's going around the internet right now, and you just don't care. I don't care. I don't care if my hair is messy today. I don't care that I'm always wearing a hat in these shows because this right here is my confidence. Don't ask why. I can't tell you. It just is a confidence booster for me to have this hat on. And so wearing a hat for me makes me feel good. So that's what I do. But menopause has always been like this hidden thing. Like we didn't learn about this in school. We had sex ed. Was menopause ever in any of those sex education courses? No. No, it was not. I can tell you that right now. I don't even know if they teach sex ed in schools anymore. I mean, hell, they don't even teach cursive, so probably not. Um, you know, there are there are these myths too that exist around menopause. One of those myths is that we're not desirable anymore. I don't think that's true because let me tell you, I have seen some hot ass women in their 40s and 50s and even 60s. Shit, look at Helen Mirren. She's what, almost 80 or is 80? I mean, there are a lot of women that are absolutely stunning. And, I think they're very desirable. I mean, I think that women go through menopause. I don't know what the hell men go, but they go through their own pause over there because for them, I think it's their mortality. They realize, "Oh my god, I'm getting older. Do I still have what it takes to get this 20-year-old?" Well, shit, if you got a bank account and some good money, yep, yes, you do, sir. I'm gonna answer that for you. Absolutely, you do. But for women, I just it's a little different. We're still desirable women. I'm sorry. We are. I don't care what anybody says. You are damn hot. All there is to it. And I really wish that, a lot of women didn't think that they had to resort to, plastic surgery. I see why it happens a lot in Hollywood, why a lot of women will go toward that because, a lot of Hollywood, producers and people like that will not choose older women for roles. They don't want older women unless they're playing the mother or the grandmother. And I mean, they got people in their 40s playing the grandmothers or the old woman in the show. That's just crazy to me. But, you know, I don't know. They say 30 is the new 50 these days. So um that's a myth. That's a myth that we're no longer desirable. We are definitely desirable. And another myth is it's just hot flashes. As you know now, if you didn't know, there are several symptoms to menopause, but all you hear about is the hot flashes. Oh, the hot flashes. Oh, I mean, I know you all saw that video of that black lady that was at, I don't know, I think it was a football game or something, and she took off her hat. And she had like really short hair. She may have been bald, I don't know, but the steam was just rising from her head. Well, that is not the only symptom, but although it's a funny one at times. Um, and then you hear other people say you should just push through it. Hell no, you shouldn't just push through it. I think you should go get the help that you need. If you think that you need the hormone replacement, go for it. Do whatever makes you feel better. And whatever makes you feel better about yourself and stop worrying. I think actually we're all stopping at least I do. I mean, and most of my friends have definitely reached this age of 50 plus, and they're like, I don't give a shit anymore. I mean, mine's probably started in my 40s, but my mid to late 40s, but I just don't give a crap anymore what you think of me. It does not matter to me. Um, but I used to. I used to worry about that kind of stuff. Now I just don't. But just pushing through it may not be the way to go. I mean, if you need something alternative that's going to make you feel better, go for it. Just do it. And I'm kind of trying to see this as, a reframing um of menopause, with I think we're going through clarity because I am becoming more clear than I've ever been about the world around me and about what's happening in the world around me. I feel like I've gotten more clarity there. I feel like we are in a rebirth, right? I feel like going through menopause is kind of a rebirth. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of it or how I'm going to feel at the end of it, but this process lasts. It could last up to 10 years. So here we go. I'm probably in year number two. Um, you know, this is an evolution that's happening within my body. It's part of life. And I really think that we shouldn't be ashamed to talk about it. We should not be embarrassed to talk about it. It should not be one of the many taboos of the 1940s or the 50s, the 60s. 70s, we should be talking about menopause and how we feel about it and what we're going through. I really feel like we, or maybe I could just speak for myself. I don't know. I really feel like we, as a society, this is like this hidden thing that happens to women that is like super secret. It's like this super secret club, I mean, that we have kept from women until they start it, which is crazy. I think this is something that we should be talking about what to expect, what our bodies are going to do, what we're going to feel like, what are the possibilities, you know? And everything I read, all those symptoms, those are the possible symptoms you can be experiencing. And maybe you're not going to experience all of them because I haven't experienced maybe a couple of those or a few of those, but I've experienced a lot of those. And I just think keeping the narrative open, I don't know, maybe telling the young people, I was like, I'm not ashamed to talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about it. But I was pissed off because I feel like you older women kept something from us that we could have learned from you. I mean, I kind of feel like it's our responsibility to pass down things to other women, especially when it comes to our bodies. Why not talk about our bodies? Why should we be ashamed of it? I mean, a lot of it is, taboo within our culture here in the United States. We don't talk about sex. We don't talk about our bodies. We don't talk about any of that stuff. And there's a lot of stuff I think that we have lost in translation because we refuse to talk about it. And I think that hurts our growth. It stunts our growth. And there are times when I wish somebody would have told me what was going to happen. Somebody was going to tell me how a hot flash felt. But I knew instinctively, I knew what it was as soon as it happened. But still, I mean, I understand we go off of instincts, but we learn from the older generations. They're the ones who I feel like should be passing this stuff down, and I feel like we missed out on something here. I feel like there was just this huge old secret, and once you become part of that secret, it's kinda like a Mason, when you go into the Masonic temple, I kinda picture it like that. I don't know, I've never been in Masonic temple, right? But you see them. So, but I kinda felt like that's what it was like. It was like, "Bink," like my eyes open, and I was like, "Holy shit, like, why do I not know about this? Why, what's going on with me? Why do I feel like this? What is going on?" And I just feel like it's a shame that doctors aren't like handing out literature to women as they start to age in their late, in their 40s. It's crazy. So I just kind of feel like this needs to be talked about. It needs to be a subject that's out there and we shouldn't be afraid of it. And I feel like we have been afraid of it as a society for so long. Um, there's just no pushing through. You gotta, I mean, this isn't like, I swear to God, this isn't like when I was a kid and I got a skin knee and I just kept going. Nah, this is a little bit more in depth than that, and your body, changes and it's telling you things, and that extra weight is part of this. It's normal. It's not something that just happens because I'm eating all the bonbons in the refrigerator every single night. I mean, I do eat a lot of ice cream though. I mean, that's okay. I do eat a lot of ice cream. I'm not gonna lie. Probably maybe one a night. Like there's this ice cream, it's called Magnum, and I should get like something free for this, but it's like double caramel chocolate. And oh my God, it's so delicious. And they have these little ones and they're really little. So the bar is like about this small and the stick's like about half. So yeah, so like you're eating these little bars and it makes you feel good because you're like, that's not a lot. Anyway, you should eat ice cream for real. Just eat ice cream. Anyway, so our bodies aren't broken. What we're going through is natural. It is natural. It's going to happen as you age. If you get to this age, which is, I think it's a privilege, and even a more privilege when you're 20 years from where I'm at down the road. Um, you're not broken. It's normal. I feel like, Michelle Obama, becoming. I think that's what we're doing. We're becoming. So we're becoming something different. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. And it's nothing to shun. And I really haven't been taught about this transition. I've learned everything on my own. And there's so much more I feel like I should learn. I think your practice for this week, ladies, talk about menopause with one person this week. One person without softening the truth, without hiding the truth. I don't know, maybe you can make a difference in somebody's lives by just talking about it, even if it's a joke about it. Um, but too many times, we don't talk about it. But I do want to say thanks for being here. Thanks for being loud with me. I'll be back next Sunday with what? I'm not sure. I have ideas, but until Wednesday's teaser, I won't know either. I'll decide. Who knows? Who knows what it'll be? But until then, stay soft, stay brave, and of course, my favorite, stay grounded and keep talking amongst yourself. Thank you.